Now, yesterday I did a video showing me removing paint from some crypt ghouls using isopropyl alcohol, 99.9% purity. The link in the first video, and I'll probably put in the second video as well, for where to buy it on Amazon. It's not really that expensive, but it's medical grade. You can't find this in stores. I don't know the litigation, but maybe you can't have anything over 70% sold to regular consumers. But anyhow, so I'm going to strip a primed model that was actually primed with several coats of Automotive primer. Now, this was bought at Home Depot, and it worked kind of good for small miniatures and spraying, but it really does dig in deep, and it kind of on bigger models it started to pull. So maybe it's good for 3D printed terrain because it will fill in some of the gaps, but for Luminar Syrahs, it literally just warped the hell out of them. So, and then when I posted this yesterday, the reason why I'm posting the video isopropyl alcohol is that you can't, unless you specifically look up removing paint from a model with isopropyl alcohol, it really doesn't show up depending on your location and where you're at. And this person named Lance Evans and the Eldari group, and from Australia, he basically was being really salty and accusing me of taking credit of somebody else's discovery. I'm like, no, this is education being passed on, and if it's repeated, oh well. That's what education's there for. We pass knowledge to each other. We don't sit on the internet and start downsizing people and talking down to them because they're trying to spread information. My information, what I've gathered, is not the same as your information. Some stuff is public knowledge, some stuff is tribal knowledge. And sorry, yeah, maybe you've been playing Warhammer 40k since first edition, Patrick, but Lance, but not all of us have been playing since first edition. And some people, and if you've made along the line came across the solution, that's good on you. And kind of why weren't you kind of helping to spread it? So that's the thing, is that the misconception is that some people like using Simple Green, and for me Simple Green never worked. I soaked things in there for an entire weekend, and you really have to dig in there with the toothbrush, and my arms started hurting. The Simple Green, I started having an allergic reaction to the chemicals. It's definitely not eco-friendly. Definitely wear gloves. That crap is very toxic. So without further ado, I'm gonna get this model. I will try to get the pictures that I had of this model when I first originally did him, where he was pulled, but I'm gonna pull him out. The isopropyl alcohol, I soaked him overnight, and I don't know if you could see it. You could start seeing some of the gray on the model. The 2 to 3 layers of caked on Automotive primer already kind of started stripping off. So let's pull it out and see what happens when I start scrubbing him. So I'm gonna pull him out. Yeah, I'm quiet because it's not all coming off, but what I'm seeing is that layers are coming off, and it's bringing back the detail that was caked over. So only like the very thinnest part that actually bonded to the plastic is coming off, and the stuff that's actually bonded to the plastic directly is staying on there, because the biggest part was his shoulder blades, and you couldn't see the detail on his on the little recesses, but I guess here you can. So I guess with Automotive primer, it's much difficult to come off. It does come off. Several layers do come off, and I wish I could do a before after picture. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna soak this for a couple more days and see what happens, because I really want to see if isopropyl alcohol will work on Automotive primer, which is basically the most aggressive, because think of paint having teeth and locking on to the surface, and Automotive primer compared to Citadel, the teeth are much longer. It digs deeper into plastic, so it's gonna have a lot more durability. That's why it's made for automotive. And miniature models, it's a very subtle, which is probably why the crypt ghouls were able to come off so easily, but the automotive primer is not. So anyhow, I'm gonna upload this. Even though it's a failure, this is the part of, science. You hypothesize, and then you run a test and you try to figure out the details. And right now this is the results, and I'm going to keep going further to investigate this.